In this unit, we're going to work on responsive design. This first video will give you an overview of what the final portion of this project should look like, a completed version. If you need to look at the source code, you can go to web105.mccdgm.net/responsive. And if you view the page source, you can see the code, you can see the style sheets. These are the things that pretty much stay the same on each page. You'll see that there are some styles up at the top in each page that change from page to page. So this first page is to show you how media queries work. Let's look at that source again. So I have at the top, in the style section, which is inside the head section, a at media only screen, and this is just the default that my background color is slate gray. Then I have a minimum width of 450 pixels to make the background dark green. So anything smaller than 450 pixels wide will be slate gray. The mid-level will be dark green, and the larger than 900 pixels, will be Rebecca purple. Let's take a look at how this works. Everything else we do is going to hinge on the fact that the media queries can determine how wide something is. So here we can see I've got it set to responsive, and I can change the width here. So the media query can tell here we're below 450 pixels wide, here we're over 450 pixels wide, here we're over 900 pixels wide. And so it changes colors when it gets to the appropriate width. Everything else we do is going to hinge on that. So a phone would typically be less than 450 pixels wide. Let's take a look at how this would look on a phone. So we can see what it would look like on a Galaxy, on a Pixel, on an iPhone 5, on an iPhone 6, 7, 8 Plus, and you can also see what it would look like if you turn it. So this gives you a way to test how it's going to look in different sizes. And that's what we're working for with responsive design. We want it to change. So if I were doing a phone layout, and we're going to change it back to Pixel 2. If I were doing a phone layout, and this is showing you a layout for the phone, and these are zombie placeholders because, well, it's fun. If I look at this, you could use kitten placeholders. If you're doing something professional, you should do placeholders that actually show the size. But if I were to show you these sources here, I don't have that wide enough. There we go. So I'm using from http placezombie.com an image that starts at 200 by 300 pixels. Now it is responsive, so it's set to a percentage. There are all sorts of placeholders. This is not a particularly professional one, but I usually do this assignment near to Halloween, and it's a bit of fun. So that's just putting in placeholder images, and I have lorem ipsum text. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So when we're working with responsive design, I'm using rows and columns to lay out my code. So each class, and I have it set up here where my rows are outlined in red and my columns are outlined in dashed purple. So on the phone, everything lines up. On the tablet, you can see how you get two rows, the column's going to fit 2 rows into one. And then we have the computer layout, and you can see that's really not meant to be seen in this view. So we need to change it to responsive. So this is our computer layout, our tablet layout, and you can see how things change. And our phone layout. which it doesn't matter how wide it is. Those are the three layouts that we're working with. But where we really want to get to is to having a combined layout. And this is combining everything. And so as I change and make things wider, not only is that background going to change, you can see that the top part gets 2 rows stacked together, and then it goes down to 1. So it's responding to the screen size. So I'm going to walk you through in upcoming videos how to create this layout and how we're doing the responsive design. And we'll go through the CSS and the different pieces for creating responsive design. But this is the ultimate goal. So we're going to start by having you download a file with all of these pages without the CSS at the top of each page. And so you'll modify the CSS for the media page, the phone page, the tablet page, the computer page, and then the combined page. And you'll get a different short lecture for each one of those. This is just an overview of where